Yeah, truthfully, I don't know why I'm going to bother reviewing Megan 2, but I'm going to anyway. I feel like everyone knows exactly what they're in store for when they go and see this. Never before have trailers been so accurate to the movie. It basically tells you the whole story. It is an action comedy with Megan. That's it. You go to the restaurant, you order french fries off the menu, they don't surprise you with fucking shrimp or something instead, they just gave you the fries. That's exactly what this movie does. But for me personally, I'm just kind of confused on why the chef even served me this dish in the first place. I'm someone that went into the first Megan movie expecting to spit and shit on it, but then I walked away pleasantly surprised that it was pretty good. And Megan 2, I don't know why they granny shifted so hard into a different gear that is so far removed from what the first one was. The first one being like a horror slasher, this one now being an action comedy. But I was willing to give it a shot to see if it impressed me or like really, blew me away. Like maybe it's an incredible action comedy. Now after watching it, I can say it's fine. It's like the most simple, like formulaic action comedy. It's like Diet Mission Impossible, but it stars Megan, the shit talking, wacky dancing, like JoJo Siwa choreography occasionally dancing robot killer. Except she's no longer a killer, she's now the hero. It kind of does like a Terminator 2 thing where the hero used to be the villain. Now it's the good guy. And well, a lot of people are liking it. I don't hate it. It's just okay, I guess. You know what's better than okay, though, is the Starforge sale we're doing right now. Huge sale on Starforge PCs. I'll put a link to that in the description. Runs till July 4th, so go ahead and check that out if you're looking for an upgrade. But anyway, let's dive into Megan 2 here. I don't have a whole lot to say. The trailers tell you everything. There is a new AI on the loose, very similar to Megan. Her name is Amelia. She's more advanced, but Megan is up to the task. She's up to snuff, and she's trying to prove herself to the people that she wronged in the past and make up and atone for her sins of murder in the first movie by taking on this AI to keep humanity safe. And throughout the journey, there's some more people that are introduced. The narrative gets kind of convoluted. Nah, not even convoluted. I wouldn't even say that. They try and introduce a lot of things that I don't think added much to it, and it feels like they're only there to stretch out the runtime. I think this movie is longer than it needs to be. Obviously, a focal point of the film is about the danger of AI and the threat that it poses to humanity. And like, I'm going to be getting into spoilers. I do that a lot now with reviews. Spoilers are coming. Spoiler warning. Sound the alarm. Spoilers. All right, you've been warned. One of the ways they do that is they basically have like this almost SCP containment facility of like tech, dangerous tech. One of them being like the core thing. The black box, this old AI that's basically become a god as it's been sitting in stasis, like confined to a prison, evolving but unable to escape. It's become a god, and it's surrounded by like other tech, that all of which they're keeping under lock and key because they're trying to study it and trying to, make sure they can fight back against the evil technology. And I think that whole plot there just kind of sucks because ultimately it's only there as a way of getting Amelia and Megan to fight each other. But I feel like they had many opportunities to do that 30 minutes before they started throwing that shit in there. I don't know. It just felt like it dragged. And it's not a bad movie by any means. Like I said, I don't hate it. It's just so safe. Like this feels like a movie that was made for a TikTok audience. It's a PG-13 film. It's got its own little dance numbers. It's got its own little quips that you'd hear on like a TikTok soundbite or something. It's just not for me. Like, it's a completely fine film. It got some laughs out of the audience. It is whimsical. It does have some cool choreography. Like, there are a couple of decent moments when it comes to its action, especially towards the end, where, I already mentioned the spoilers, but there's a big spoiler. Gemma and Megan fuse with basically this neural chip, and Megan is able to control her while she gets knocked out, and then she's like powering her body, so like her hair's all on her face, and she's like a fucking zombie but using kung fu on some bad guys. It's cool. There are definitely some cool moments with it, but then there's like some almost Home Alone level shit to it where it's clear who the audience is actually targeting, where like Gemma and her daughter are running away during this burglary is not the right word. These special ops forces come in. They're like about to kidnap them but Megan's controlling the house, so they're getting hit with drawers and like ice cubes, and they're slipping and falling. Whoa! Like all slapstick on the ice cubes. One of them steps on a Roomba that Megan slid out in front of him, so then he hits his head on some stairs. And it's like, okay, it's whimsical, but it's not exactly what I want to see. You know, like it's a fine action comedy. It's okay. There is one thing that I like really disliked about it though, and it's what they did with Gemma. She is like the most annoying character in this movie. In this film, she is like constantly a stick in the mud, like for good reason. Like it makes sense for her character to be so stiff and like so apprehensive about anything in regards to Megan, but it's to an almost absurd degree where she's supposed to be like the super genius, you know, like turbo mega mind. Like she is in this universe probably the smartest person there is, yet she is a really bad mom and a really bad boss. And it's not until the last like 5 minutes where all of a sudden she has a radical shift in all of her perspectives and everything. Like basically everything she had done up until the very end of the movie showed no reason for you to expect her to switch sides and be like the biggest Megan enthusiast and do everything to protect Megan and bring her back. But she does at the end. It just kind of happens out of nowhere. Up until then, she is constantly fighting against it. And like I said, it is like almost an absurd level. Like she is a D1 hater of it to a level that doesn't even compute. And sometimes it's like at the detriment of her own relationship with her daughter, where she'll just like outright be lying to her daughter and like yelling at her daughter to get away. And she's like, man, it's so weird. I just can't connect with my daughter. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you're constantly lying to her. Like, obviously, your daughter's not going to trust you or really appreciate that. And she does that the entire film. And, like, all of her decisions she makes are extraordinarily detrimental to the safety of her daughter and everyone around her. Like, they made Gemma just kind of have nothing to do except stand in the way of everyone else making the right choice until the very end of the movie where she just all of a sudden changes her perspective on all of it. And there is actually a scene between Megan and Gemma where she is very self-aware, like, yeah, I'm fucking terrible at connecting with my daughter. Like, I'm really bad at it. Like, I'm actually really bad at it. And she is. And she never gets better at it. Like, she recognizes it, but it doesn't improve until spontaneously at the very end where she just all of a sudden is like, I love Megan. I will not hurt Megan. So she doesn't. It's almost like she got programmed somehow, like Megan hacked into her neurons. But anyway, that was the only thing I thought was like actually bad. I didn't like what they did with Gemma's character. Everything else I think is very fine. It's all very by the numbers action comedy shit. So if you just want like a simple, silly action comedy, I think you'll probably walk away from this movie pretty happy. But I will say though, it's not a film that goes hog wild with action. So don't go in here expecting this to be like, you know, fucking full throttle, nuts to butts, robot action, because that's not what you get. There's a little bit of robot, like, scuffles here and there between Amelia and Megan, but it's not till the very end where they have, like, a short fight. It's not even, like, a really long battle or anything. Most of the fighting is Megan trying to find less lethal ways of stopping humans. Meanwhile, Amelia has no problem hitting them with a spear. There's not, like, long, drawn-out fight scenes with, like, a lot of crazy choreography until, like, the end of the film, which isn't a huge problem. I just wanted to at least mention that. It's not a movie where action is around every corner. In fact, I'd actually say the bulk of the film is more so exploring, like, AI and the threat, and they keep, like analyzing that and, like, digesting that and trying to weigh the pros and cons of, like, working with Megan again, you know, her being an AI that has already gone rogue and killed people, and then it's also grown into bigger talking points about, like, the government needing to regulate AI and the threat of this growing technology and what they do about that. So a lot of it is characters talking and joking with the occasional big action sequence. So again, the trailers are very indicative of what you get with the film. There's no real surprises here. That's the tone of the film. It's silly, it's wacky, and it is just an action comedy. Plain and simple. Not exactly what I would have chosen for the Megan franchise, but maybe it'll work out really well for it. All I know is it's not my, preference here, but it was fine. It was okay. That's really about it. So yeah.